Hey guys, it's Vanessa again. I am going to bring back, add another installment into my movie critique series. Now, this is one of my personal favorites. Right here. Chicken Little. Now, here's how this one is going to work. I'm going to give you a short summary of what's going to happen just like before, but this time I'm going to give you guys my specific rating. Seeing as how I forgot how to do that, I forgot to do that last time, and in case you didn't see it, here it is again. Okay, so we start off the narration with, I agree with the mystery goo or whatever his name is. Somebody I think is supposed to be Jewish, but really we start off with the narration with Chicken Little's father, which his name is Buck Cluck. I will get into my hatred for him as soon as I go forward. Now, he says, why don't we just go back to the day where things took a turn for the worst? Worse for him? Or worse for you? Seriously. Now, here's what happens. Chicken Little says that the sky is falling, and that forces the entire town into a panic. But, and it's kind of interesting, because you guys remember the story of the little boy who cried wolf? Well, it's like that, but yet it's not. I mean, obviously, he's telling the truth the entire time. An alien panel, a piece of the sky, so to speak, hits Chicken Little in the head, which later in the movie turns out to be an alien panel. But I'm getting ahead of myself. So, what happens is, after that, we pretty much cut to a year later, and apparently they're making a movie between you and me. The representation is going to suck. I'm not joking. Now, after which, his dad tells him to lay low. Dude, if they hadn't forgotten last year, they're not going to forget this year. What the fuck? And it's all because of you, you short-sighted cockhead. Seriously. No. Now, this is where my hatred starts. I don't think that Buck should have been, the way that he was portrayed in this. No. Okay? You're talking about a boy who practically, no one knows what happened to his mom, but there's a strange assumption going around that she might have died, and I'm going to give that assumption a plus because we don't see her at all in the movie except for a photo. And that in turn explains why Chicken Little is acting the way he is. So, after which, we cut to the school. They're playing dodgeball because, yes, of course they are. But beforehand, we cut to the roll call scene, which is a very lazy way to introduce your characters. Seriously. Now, back to the whole dodgeball thing. We cut to dodgeball, and Abby says, tough morning, and then Chicken Little was like, had a run-in with my own nemesis. Abby's like, I'm in the crosswalk. He's like, you won this round. So, the whole talking head scene thing, which is okay, because they needed to chat things out. They did. They needed to chat things out. And why does this look upside down every single time Oh, okay. Well, sorry, camera issues. But after which, we manage to do some other stuff, and then, you know, news reporters and all this other shit starts coming up, you know. And at this point, they say he's totally coherent, but really, it's just camera shy. Seriously, he doesn't think anybody believes him, and that's a perfectly understandable thing. So then we cut to the scene with the alien panel thing, where the alien panel basically hits him in the head through the window of his bedroom. Seriously? Through the window of his bedroom. And do not ask me how it goes diagonal unless the ship was diagonal. I don't know. So, after which, he calls up his friends. His friends are doing some weird karaoke sequence. And then he freaks out on the phone. They go over there. They find out what it is. And he says, I don't care what it is. Now are you going to help me get rid of it or not? And then Fish starts pushing the button, and he starts flying the alien panel like a hoverboard. You heard me correctly. Like a hoverboard. And then after which... Hold up a sec. Yeah. After which, they go to find him, end up on the alien ship. Then they find a map that suggests that their planet is going to be destroyed. Runt loses hope that they're going to find Fish. Eventually they do, and Abby taps on the glass, and Chicken Little says, don't tap the glass. They hate it when you do that. But that's before they find the alien map. Now, afterwards, the alien baby known as Kirby follows them out, and the alien robot tentacle octo whatevers, I can't call them an octo because they only have 4 legs, start following the kids. They start following the gang, and after which, you know, Abby is like really frantic. Okay, that's it. You're running back to your house and you're gonna tell your dad what is up. Okay. Like his dad is going to listen. So then after which we get back to the house, we cut to the scene where they're like down the stairs, and it's like, whoa, 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 where's the fire is what Buck says. I mean, we get stopped by dick asshole. Basically. I'm sorry, I mean the worst person to ever walk the planet. I'm sorry, I mean Buck. Seriously, I do not like him. And now it's really quite simple as to what happens next. Buck says you gotta be ready to listen to your children even though they have nothing to say, and at this point I'm like, damn you! Don't try to pretend to be a good father now. Which is what it is later, but I will get to that elaboration later. After that, we cut to, them actually seeing that the sky is breaking apart. Alright? Now you finally believe your son? Are you fucking serious? Now you finally believe your son. It's just, screw your logic. Alright? Now you finally believe your son. Now, I personally believed him the entire time, but that's because I have a heart. Okay? Buck doesn't have one. That's the difference between him and me. Buck doesn't have a heart. Seriously. Now, after which, now I know what you guys are thinking. You have to have a heart to survive. That doesn't mean that people use it. Okay? If you have a heart, you're supposed to be sympathetic and you're supposed to care. And Buck doesn't. He's cold, cruel, and sadistic. No joke. And I'll get into the sadisticity later. Now, honestly, remember how I mentioned about the photo? Yeah. The scene after Chicken Little pulls the fire alarm is when we get to see the photo. I know I'm going backwards, but I just thought I would elaborate on the photo a little bit more. Now, after which, Chicken Little finally tells him off. Like, you're not going to believe me anyway, so just get the away from me. You know, and you never did. And honestly, I have to agree with Chicken Little. He never believed him in the first place. Now, he never believed him in the first place. Now, then they cut to the theater where he's like, what is up with you and the running and the jumping? That's what Buck says. And honestly, I don't even care what this guy says. He's like, and then Chicken Little finally tells him off again. You're never there for me. I mean, you were there when I won the big game, but not in the ball, not when the sky park, and not when the sky fell, and not in the ballpark with the other mess, and certainly not now. And I have to talk about it because Modern Mallard says avoiding closure with your parents can cause early molting, and I'm already small, and on top of that, I don't think I can help being bald. Which, I don't blame him for any of that. No, I don't blame him for any of that. Now, here's the funny thing about this. Funny thing about that particular scene is that Buck finally decides to be a good parent. He's like, I love you, and I'm sorry if that was if I made you feel like that was what you had to earn. I've always loved you. No, you didn't. Do you know how bad you ostracized your own son? No joke. Your own son can't even stand to look at your face. You know? So then they try to return Kirby to his parents. And Buck starts thinking that it's crazy. Then he turns around and says, crazy wonderful, when Chicken Little looks at him. And remember that phrase from last time? You gotta believe me this time? And he didn't believe him? When he threw the rock at the spaceship? Tried to hit it? We all know he doesn't have a good arm, but still, he tried. Yeah. Well, says it again, and this time Buck says, I believe him. I believe you. They go back up, return the alien kid, but then afterwards, they get blasted. Well, vaporized. Well, not really vaporized, really. They get, blasted into the alien spaceship. Whatever. And then they make a soap opera reference, which is 90210. If anybody ever watches that show, yeah. Kind of ripped that show off. And a lot of the music was ripped off. Except for the one track, All I Know, that was like painstakingly written by a band titled Three Naked Ladies. Don't ask me why. But anyway, that was the only song that was painstakingly written for the thing, painstakingly written for the movie. The rest of the tracks are just fucking pop songs. That's it. No joke, even that in credit. But I'm going to get into that later. Now, see, then afterward, you know, they decide to let him go after Buck says, my son didn't take your child, you're the one that left him behind, that's bad parenting, and I should know. You finally understand how screwed up in the head you are. Too bad they waited until the end of the movie to give that to us. Now, I understand how it is being small and on top of that visually impaired. Okay? I share a lot of myself within this movie, which is why it's one of my favorites. Because I was always picked last for the teams in gym class. I was sometimes not even picked at all. I was ostracized for a lot of my beliefs. I was made fun of for my physical inabilities. Which is why I share so much into this. So, yeah. Then afterwards, they let the kid go, the mom gets the kid back, and we finally see that the people that are inside those robo-walkers are just teeny tiny alien things. Now, I can understand how Kirby got the orange color, because his dad is like an orange. But, and what's next? A girl getting the mom's yellow color? Seriously? Yeah, if you haven't noticed, his mom, Kirby's mom, is like a dark yellow. But yeah, it's afterwards, we go down to the bottom, and we find out, everybody finally finds out that the panel thing was true. Yeah! The whole town of Okie Oaks and their short-sighted cockiness finally finds out that everything that Chicken Little said was true. Too bad they waited until the end of the fucking movie. No, too bad they waited. Now, afterwards we get this thing where he looks at his wrist and he has a Mickey Mouse watch. Now, keep in mind, this movie came out in 2005. Alright? I'm sorry I didn't say the year in the beginning. This came out in 2005. Okay? Now, if Walt Disney did, in fact, still have his life today, he probably would have created it in a different sense. You know? He probably would have created it in a different sense. I have faith in Walt. I've always had faith in Walt. In fact, Walt Disney is my idol. I honestly wish I could have met him. Seriously. I wish I could have met him. But, yeah. Know how it is with your kids. When they need you, do whatever it takes. That's what the dad says, and the dad is the same as Buck. He doesn't understand Kirby, but the mom does. Only difference between Kirby and Chicken Little, Kirby still has his mom. Chicken Little doesn't, which isn't fair. Now, they would have made the movie so much better if his mom was there. Now, Walt Disney, if you are listening from up above, seriously, you would understand that I'm paying this to you as a tribute, and you would understand how I'm understanding your genius, how a lot of people would not. But given the critique of this, I would say that because of the horrible plot points, the fact that I share so much with the main character, I am, like, literally giving this about a measly... Oh, and before I do my critique, there is actually one thing I forgot to mention. Foxy Loxy was the main bully who picked on Chicken Little. Honestly, I mean, if the rest of the school system wasn't enough. Okay? He attends Okie Oaks Middle, by the way. He has the intelligence of a college student attending a middle school. What the fuck? Same reason how I felt. In elementary school, I had the intelligence of a middle schooler attending an elementary school. That doesn't make any sense. I had the intelligence of a high school person by the time I was in middle school, and I had the potential of well, honestly, really, in reality, I kind of had the potential of a college student all the way back in elementary. But, yeah. Enough about me. Enough about, the movie and such. But I'm sorry my critique is a little long. I decided to get this out there. I would probably get this... Oh, by the way, this movie was also based on baseball. Which Chicken Little actually finally won and restored his reputation, so to speak, in their town. I'd probably give this movie about a measly... 5 out of 10. Because of how it was set up. A measly 5 out of 10. Yeah. So that's it. That's my movie critique on Chicken Little. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later. Peace.